Speaking of robots, Facebook has a new robot as well. It's a fiber wrapping robot. And this is, speaking of things robots can do that humans cannot, this is another really robot-specific type of task, I suppose, is what I would say. A robot would excel at a task like this. And this task I'm talking about is bringing fiber to communities that don't have high-speed connections and where the cost of doing so might not make any sense through the typical traditional methods, like digging giant trenches and running fiber that way. Facebook was, I didn't even know Facebook was into robots. I didn't even know Facebook was doing this kind of stuff. But it seems like with every mega tech company, they got to have a robotics piece, an autonomous driving, a space piece, content.
Diversify.
Physical products, VR. Like, it's crazy, man. They got to have everything. Anyways, there's a video, Will, and I think you're really going to get turned on by this as much as I did. They had to first figure out what they were going to do with the cable. They had to get it a bit lighter, shrink it a little bit from what you would normally lay in the ground. And they had to create a robot that could actively use the pre-existing power lines. Because in these remote places, if they're going to have any line going there, it's likely to be a power line.
Right.
And so there's an example of a map in here. I believe it's Uganda. It is. And this map shows where internet goes, and then it shows where power goes. And it's like, oh, man, we got this infrastructure in place. We've already got these poles and power lines going above ground. Is there a way we can do this more, bring the internet more cheaply by utilizing what's already there instead of digging? And that's where this robot comes in. You develop a robot whose entire purpose is to travel on its own across power lines, wrapping a fiber cable around the power line. And if you scroll down to the video, you can see it in action. And it's really amazing to think, wow, yes, of course. For a human to do this, they would have to be going up and down across the line in some sort of a lift over long distances. This little guy, this little robot, can carry the cable, wrap the cable on its own without without a human having to hold his hand. Look at this. See, look at the backside. You will see the fiber cable getting tightly wound around the power cable. Are you as excited as I am?
That's cool. Is it gonna move from like pole to pole?
Yeah, so it has a spool on there, which is they had to engineer the spool a certain way as well, so that the center of gravity of the rope so it wouldn't fly off. That's the spool in the middle, and so the spool is actually rotating around the cable as well. It's very complex. It's a custom, sort of a one-of-a-kind solution. There you go. Here he's talking about it right now.
So this allows us to work with conductors that are closely spaced together.
It's incredible.
It has like a spindle.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's a type of thing type of innovation where you say, yeah, of course we should do this. That's now you're bringing internet to these remote locations. I know Elon wants to do it with the satellites, which that would be great too, but that's sort of more in the future, I suppose. Or it's going to be a different, at least in what is capable of delivering. There's still a need for physical lines in some circumstances. And this robot's one of the coolest ways I've ever seen it implemented. It has to get around a lot of obstacles too, and it's power lines, man. And so you can see the tolerances. It's pretty incredible. Anyways, yes, robotics.